Literary contests. Are they worth it? I'm Karen Beery with Right Now Editing, where we turn good manuscripts into great books.
And I'm Pegg Thomas, multi award winning author and editor, and we are two editors for 5 minutes.
We're going to start the year off right, and I'm going to turn
And
the
you're going
timer
to
on.
set the timer? Okay, good.
It's going. Um, so we wanted to start this year talking about contests because you may have noticed that there's a lot of contests now that are officially open. Um, we might actually know somebody who is a contest coordinator. Um, but I see also online a lot of people who aren't certain, are contests worth it? Should they enter? How do they know if it's a good contest? So Peg, I do believe you coordinate a book contest. Is that correct?
Well, maybe I do. Actually, I have a coordinator for one of the categories, one of the genres, and I've been doing it for 4 years. And to me, it's just kind of a neat way to give back to the organization I belong to, which is Faith, Hope, and Love Christian Writers. One thing I like about our contest, just to brag on it a little bit, and that's the Faith, Hope, and Love Readers' Choice Award, is it is judged by readers, not industry professionals. And that was one of the things that I looked at when I was looking to enter contests, because I entered this one long before I was even a member of the association, and I picked it because I wanted input from the readers. And you don't get this is for published books. You don't get feedback, but you know that your judges are actual readers, people who are just going to pick it up and read it and not look at it from a technical standpoint, but from an entertainment standpoint. And I that's the feedback I wanted at that time.
And that's a good thing to consider is what type of feedback do you want?
Hmm.
Do you want to know if readers are enjoying your book or are you looking more for that professional feedback? Is my book well written? So that's going to determine whether or not you enter a reader's choice contest or a regular for published books contest.
And
Um,
personally, I think you should enter both.
mhm.
I don't think it should be one or the other. I think you should enter both. I think you should enter in a reader's choice to see if readers connect with your work. And I think you should definitely enter one that is judged by industry professionals to see if they approve of your work. I think there's value in both.
And one of the things to consider too, and you can always ask about this, is I see some people complain about the entry. Why does it cost so much to enter? So, Peg, for the Faith, Hope, and Love contest, the entry fees, how's that money used?
Well, for different ways. Of course, there is the cost for the awards. For
Mhm.
Faith, Hope, and Love, the winners all get a carved wooden box, which is very nice. It's a little pricey, but so we have to pay for those, and of course shipping to get it there. Now, this is the first year we are going fully digital, so we now the cost to enter is just the entry fee. There's no cost to the author to ship physical books, so that has made it cheaper. But one of the things we do with money raised on that is we were able to offer scholarships to people who want to attend our writers conference, people who maybe otherwise could not afford to attend. So some of the money does go in that direction.
I've heard that from a couple of other contests as well. So, if you're curious, go ahead and ask the contest organizers, where's this money going? Um, and the third one is going to be, it does help maintain the website because most of these have websites that, there's a lot of work that goes into them. They need to be updated. They need to just pay for the annual usage. Um, so it's
We do
not
not
that
pay
these
our
org.
judges.
What was
Judges
that?
are not paid. Judges are not
No.
paid. The
Um,
judge, I've judged a lot of contests, and I've never been paid a penny.
you know,
It's totally a volunteer basis. And sometimes the prices, like if you look at something like the Christie Awards, okay, they set a very high entry fee. That's kind of a way to weed out the ones who probably don't have a shot anyway, because you're not going to pay that much to enter unless you think you've got a real good shot of winning that award. So that's a legitimate use of entry fee as well.
so we've only got about 30 seconds left. So I've got a couple of yeah. We're not starting off the year real great with watching our 5 minutes here, but we'll get better, I promise. Couple of things that I wanted to, well, three things to add in on there. One thing I try to avoid when entering a contest is if the judges are other entrants. There have been some contests where if you enter, you are required to judge other books. I'm not a big fan of that because there will be some people who tank other people's books just because. But there's
Yeah.
also going to be some people who, there we go. There will also be some people who, just because you can write, doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good analytical reader. So just know that if that's one of the stipulations, mm, not so sure about that. It depends on how they're asking people to judge. But if you were an unpublished writer, the one that Peg and I were talking about this before we started recording, absolutely agree. Look for a contest that has feedback because a lot of these contests you're going to have 3 or 4 judges and for anywhere from 50 to maybe $100, you're going to get feedback from 2 to 4 people. You couldn't pay a professional editor to give you that much feedback on a whole chapter. So, it's not always all going to agree. You kind of have to weed through and figure out how to read the responses. But if you're unpublished and you're going to get written feedback, absolutely encourage you to enter because you're going to learn a lot.
And
Any
just to
final
add on
thoughts?
to that, final thought, unpublished contests are getting harder and harder to find. I know of at least 2 that have shut down this year, including Faith, Hope, and Love's used to be Touched by Love, simply because we were not getting enough people entering anymore. So many people are self-publishing; they're just skipping the unpublished contests altogether and putting out those first books, and so they're getting harder to find. You're probably going to have to look a little closer to find them. That's a shame, but it's the way it is.
Right. Well, we will try to be better with our 5 minutes next week. So,
Sure
it's
we
just the
will.
first. It's our first recording for 2025. So, thanks for your grace. But until next week, I'm Kieran Beery.
And I'm Peg Thomas, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.